Okay, let me introduce the famous painting The Starry Night to you today. Vincent van Gogh's The Starry Night is undoubtedly one of the most iconic and recognizable paintings in the history of Western art. Created in 1889 during his time at the St. Paul de Moselle Asylum in Saint-Rémy-de-Provence, France, the painting stands out for its swirling, expressive brushstrokes, vibrant colors, and dramatic composition. Through an analysis of The Starry Night, we can gain a deeper understanding of Van Gogh's artistic genius, emotional turmoil, and his unique approach to capturing the beauty and mystery of the night sky. Historical context. To fully appreciate the significance of The Starry Night, it is essential to consider the historical context in which it was created. Van Gogh painted this masterpiece during a particularly tumultuous period in his life. Following a breakdown in 1888, he voluntarily admitted himself to the St. Paul de Moselle Asylum, where he spent a year grappling with his mental health issues. Despite his struggles, this period was also one of intense creativity for Van Gogh, during which he produced some of his most famous works. The late 19th century was a time of great change and upheaval in the art world. The Impressionist movement was in full swing, challenging traditional notions of art and representation. Van Gogh, who admired the Impressionists but sought to break away from their style, developed his own unique approach to painting. His use of bold colors, expressive brushwork, and emotional intensity set him apart from his contemporaries and paved the way for the emergence of modern art. Artistic significance. The Starry Night is a prime example of Van Gogh's distinctive style and vision. The painting depicts a tranquil night scene in which a village nestled beneath a swirling sky of stars and crescent moon. The dark cypress trees in the foreground stand in stark contrast to the vibrant blues and yellows of the sky, creating a sense of depth and movement. The swirling patterns of the stars and clouds seem to pulsate with energy, conveying a sense of dynamism and intensity. One of the most striking aspects of The Starry Night is Van Gogh's use of color. The blues and yellows in the sky create a sense of otherworldly beauty and mystery, while the dark greens and browns of the landscape ground the composition in reality. Van Gogh's mastery of color is evident in the way he juxtaposes complementary hues to create a sense of harmony and balance in the painting. Another key element of The Starry Night is Van Gogh's bold and expressive brushwork. His thick, swirling strokes lend a sense of movement and vitality to the composition, as if the sky is alive with energy. The impasto technique, in which paint is applied in thick, textured layers, adds depth and dimension to the painting, creating a tactile quality that draws the viewer in. Symbolism and themes. The Starry Night is rich with symbolism and meaning, reflecting Van Gogh's deep emotional and spiritual connection to nature. The night sky, with its swirling stars and moon, represents a sense of wonder and awe at the beauty of the universe. The cypress trees, a common motif in Van Gogh's work, symbolize eternity and the cycle of life and death. The village below, with its darkened windows and silent streets, conveys a sense of solitude and introspection. One of the central themes of The Starry Night is Van Gogh's belief in the transcendent power of art to convey emotion and meaning. Through his use of color, brushwork, and composition, Van Gogh sought to capture the essence of the night sky and imbue it with his own innermost feelings. The swirling patterns of the stars and clouds suggest a sense of cosmic energy and interconnectedness, while the darkened village below hints at the fragility and transience of human existence. Emotions. Van Gogh's emotional state at the time of painting The Starry Night undoubtedly influenced the mood and tone of the artwork. His struggles with mental illness and feelings of isolation are evident in the dark, brooding landscape and swirling, turbulent sky. The intense, almost frenzied energy of the brushwork conveys a sense of inner turmoil and agitation, while the vivid colors and bold contrasts speak to Van Gogh's vision of beauty and truth. Despite the darker elements of the painting, there is also a sense of hope and transcendence in The Starry Night. The luminous stars and crescent moon suggest a sense of wonder and possibility, while the quiet, contemplative village below speaks to the power of art to transport us beyond the confines of our everyday lives. Van Gogh's belief in the redemptive power of nature and creativity shines through in this iconic work, reminding us of the enduring power of art to uplift and inspire. Techniques. Van Gogh's innovative use of color, brushwork, and composition in The Starry Night set him apart from his contemporaries and paved the way for the emergence of modern art. His bold, expressive style and emotional intensity revolutionized the way artists approached the depiction of nature and the human experience. By experimenting with color theory, texture, and form, Van Gogh was able to create a sense of depth, movement, and emotion in his paintings that had never been seen before. One of Van Gogh's most notable techniques in The Starry Night is his use of complementary colors to create a sense of harmony and balance. The bright blues and yellows of the sky contrast with the dark greens and browns of the landscape, creating a sense of vibrancy and energy. The swirling, dynamic brushwork adds a sense of movement and life to the painting, as if the sky is in a constant state of flux and change. Van Gogh's use of impasto, in which paint is applied in thick, textured layers, adds a tactile quality to the painting that draws the viewer in. The physicality of the brushstrokes and the way they interact with each other create a sense of depth and dimension in the composition, as if the sky is three-dimensional and pulsating with energy. Comparison to other works. The Starry Night can be compared to other famous paintings of the time, such as Claude Monet's Impression, Sunrise and Paul Cézanne's Mont Sainte-Victoire. While Monet and Cézanne were both influential figures in the Impressionist movement, Van Gogh's style and subject matter set him apart from his contemporaries. Whereas Monet focused on the fleeting effects of light and atmosphere, and Cézanne on the geometry of nature, Van Gogh sought to capture the emotional and spiritual essence of the world around him. In contrast to the light-filled landscapes of Monet and the formal compositions of Cézanne, The Starry Night exudes a sense of mystery and intensity that is uniquely Van Gogh's own. The swirling, expressive brushwork, bold colors, and dynamic composition set this painting apart as a singular achievement in the history of art. Van Gogh's ability to convey both the beauty and the chaos of the world around him speaks to his profound insight into the human condition and his enduring impact on the art world. Conclusion. In conclusion, The Starry Night by Vincent van Gogh is a masterpiece of modern art that continues to captivate and inspire viewers to this day. Through an analysis of its historical context, artistic significance, symbolism, and techniques, we gain a deeper appreciation for Van Gogh's genius and his unique approach to painting. The emotional depth, spiritual resonance, and mystical beauty of The Starry Night speak to Van Gogh's profound vision as an artist and his enduring impact on the art world. By delving into the themes, emotions, and techniques of this iconic painting, we can glimpse the inner workings of one of the greatest artists of all time and the power of art to transcend time and space. Thank you so much for watching this video. Bye-bye.